Right guys, Dave Jenver here, aka Satan, aka King David, the Antichrist, Lucifer, that's another name for me. But don't worry, I'm a nice guy. I'm here to tell you, if you're good, if you're a good person, do an honest job, a good honest job, you're going to go to heaven, simple as that. So only if you're a naughty person, if you're a bad person, you go to hell, and hell is real. It's beneath your feet, and you get tortured there really bad. Now, King Charles, we talked about King Charles a lot, and how he doesn't want to work with me. He's obviously he's Lizard King of the world. I've talked about that before. And he's Germanic. He's from a Germanic tribe, or as he'd like to call it, a Germanic royal family that rules over the world. But they were only ever put in power by the Romans. And under Henry VIII, they formed the British Royal Navy that went on to conquer the world. The Romans, crap at sailing. I think the majority of Romans, tough at fighting, but they get motion sickness. They're no good on the waves. So I've talked about this before. Now, King Charles is pretty much finished. He's either dead or he's nearly dead. I can show you a picture of him. Here he is. Here's a picture of him in the news recently. It says 18th of September 2024, so very recent. You can see here, he's very ill. Now, what you can also see is top of his head. So this article, by the way, but it's bbc.co.uk, sites for the micro woods, honouring King confirmed. If you want to look up this article. As soon as his forehead, this, obviously very recent. You know, that's cancer. You're getting cancer. He's had cancer, I think, started in his pancreas. And that's a very deadly cancer, and it's spread throughout his body, and there's cancerous lesions appearing on the top of his head. So that when you've got to that point, it means you're very close to death. So he's either dead already or he's nearly dead, which will mean the power would have shifted now to Prince Harry. Now, Prince Harry, at the moment, he looks okay. He was recently seen at this is him just recently. So this is 21st of September 2024. He was recently at a music concert with Kevin Costner, of all people. It was something to do with Kevin Costner, I think. I don't fully know what it was, but anyway, Meghan Markle, the same article, September 21st, 2024. Meghan Markle sick as she misses high-profile event with Prince Harry. I was hoping that Prince Harry was going to work with me, King David, who is Satan, but I do work for God. If you find yourself in hell, it's your own fault. Don't blame the devil. Live a good life, and you get to be in heaven with God and Jesus, the man of love. If you bad guy, you go down to hell to be with me and get tortured really fucking bad. But Meghan Markle's sick at the minute. Because unfortunately I asked God, and God said they're not going to work with us. Harry and Meghan aren't going to work with us. I didn't know about any of this. This hadn't been explained to me by God. God is someone who often he doesn't reveal to you everything straight away because it might be too much for you to deal with. God's now having to hit Meghan Markle with the mind powers, the psychic mind powers from heaven, and kill off Meghan Markle. And I think Harry's going to have to be killed off too. because they're part of this Windsor family that are evil. This Windsor family that rule the world, they've done evil things. And Harry knows after death, he's going to be going down to hell to get tortured and, you know, suffer really bad. He doesn't want to work with me. He doesn't want to work with Satan, even though I'm here working for God to give you free energy and get going into the stars. Star of David, that's another name for me. So, yeah, I was a bit gutted when I found out, but it didn't surprise me. When you think about it, this thing, the Windsors like to play a lot of lies and tricks in the media. I mean, they're still trying to make out Kate Middleton's still alive. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. But this idea that Harry was having a feud with Charles and William's total nonsense. They're a very tight trio. Although William, I mean, he must be dead surely by now. And Charles, as I've shown, you know, he's got cancer on the top of his head. He's very close to death, if not dead already. So the power will now be with Harry. But he doesn't want to work with me. I was hopeful he might. Doesn't look like it. So he's going to have to be killed off. God in heaven is going to kill him off for the mind powers. As I always tell the monkey men, what do you need to do? You just need to put your money into Wisdomtree CRUD that links your money to the price of crude oil. Remember, crude oil runs the whole economy. The whole British Empire that runs the world depends on crude oil to power its global economy, power all its ships. You know, like ships like sailing across, because that's what the British Empire was built on. They're very good sailors. The Romans, good at fighting on the land, not good at sailing. So the British Empire had to take over, and they were very good at sailing. And all their ships now, I mean, originally their ships were powered by the wind with sails, but now they're all powered by diesel, which is oil. So oil is money. Money, like the dollar or the pound, the UK pound, that's just like monopoly money, really. Oil is money. And because you've only got one earth, you've only got so much oil. Now, Harry and King Charles and William have been trying to now keep these oil prices down, but they've been creeping up a bit because they've got all these situations in the world, and their plan eventually is to have these oil prices sky upwards. So the only thing you can do as a monkey man is to put your money in Wisdomtree CRUD. That's the only thing you can really do, because they're the lizard kings. I like to call them the lizard bitch kings because they're not working with me, but they're the lizard kings that order the reptilians what to do. The reptilians, they won't do something stupid. Like, say if King Harry says to a reptilian, right, jump off a cliff. It's very unlikely that reptilian will do it. Some of them might, because they're so fucking stupid. Some of them might do it, but most of them won't. But he does have power over them because he's their king. It's the same as, imagine if it was a king of an ant colony. He can order them what to do. So they control the media. But like I say, Meghan Markle's now getting sick. She missed this high-profile event with Prince Harry. So I think what's going to happen is Meghan Markle's going to get killed off next by God's mind powers, because they're not working with God's other son, which is Satan. And then Harry's going to get killed off. And then after that, it's then Prince George that comes to power. But he's only 11 years old at the minute. So what would happen then is there would be a regent, who I don't know who that's going to be, that would work with George to help him rule until he's old enough, until he's like 18. And then he can fully become the king. He's a bit young at the minute. So it's a nightmare situation, really. As monkey men, you can't do anything because, like I say, it's reptilians who control the world. You're a separate species to them. But when you put your money into Wisdomtree CRUD, link your money to the price of crude oil, you are putting yourself on the same level as other reptilians, because that's all the reptilians have got their money in Wisdomtree CRUD. They've got their money in that, linking their money to the price of crude oil. And the British royals are going to try and pin all the blame on this for the Rockefeller family. I got confused at one stage because I thought it was the Rockefeller family that controlled crude oil supplies. But that's what the British royals want you to think. It's the British Empire that conquered the world, not the American Empire. It's the British Empire that did it. The British Empire, when they were more public with how they ruled the world, you know, the British Empire was known as the largest empire there's ever been. And it was also known as the empire where the sun never sets, because it was like on the whole, basically all over the world was the British Empire. You know, from Australia to North America to flipping Canada, you know what I mean? Conquered the world. But unfortunately, you've got a very evil family in power that don't want to work with me and don't really give a fuck. They're going to hell, and now they just want to say, fuck off, King David, we don't like you, we're not interested. And Harry's no different. I'm just the devil in it, so I was a bit fooled by their trickery in the media, where that Harry is separate. He's got a feud, ongoing feud with King Charles and William over seemingly nothing. I was tricked by that, but God in heaven wasn't tricked. He's laid it out to me. Now Harry and Meghan's got to go. So I was hopeful it wasn't going to have to be that way, but that's how it's going to have to be. That God in heaven's just going to keep killing them till they work with us. Simple as that. He's going to keep killing people in the British royals till they start working with us. So maybe Prince George and his regent, whoever that is, who's going to help him rule while he's a young lad, you know, a young man, will hopefully work with us. But if they don't, then we'll have to kill the regent. Well, God in heaven will have to. Simple as that. And I'm supposed to be with Ariana Rockefeller. That's what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to marry marry Ariana Rockefeller, who's looking very sexy at the minute. I mean, she's looking amazing. This is a picture of her. Zoom in. That's Ariana Rockefeller. She's a very attractive woman. So, you know, she's very good looking to my eyes, and I think to everyone else's. So she would hopefully make a good wife for me to marry. She's certainly got what it takes in the looks department anyway. But yeah, it's been held up by these Windsors. They don't like me. They don't like me. They don't like God in heaven. And they're getting fucking killed off because of it. Funny actually, the British royals, they have this purple crown. When they have their coronation, so that's purple, that's King Charles when he was a bit younger, and there's purple crown. They wear these purple crowns at their coronation. And I've just recently told them that crown, the crown jewels they've got in the minute, was supposedly from the 1600s, 1661 or 1660. Because they love to link to that number 6. They love to align themselves with the devil. Thing is, they didn't realise the devil was real. They didn't realise Satan's real and hell's real. So they've been playing these little number games where they like to align themselves to 6. So the current crown jewels, you know, the crown that they wear at the coronation, is supposedly from 1661 or 1660. But they've actually been wearing purple crowns all the way back to when they were ruled by the Romans, the ancient Romans. Now in Catholicism, the colour purple, see this, the colour purple in Catholicism represents penance, sacrifice, stuff, preparation, sacrifice, but it's also worn at funerals because of its connection to mourning, right? So I'm going to tell you how it really is. Purple, to the ancient Romans, was used at funerals to represent the colour of death, right? I'm not really sure why they use purple. I'm not sure if it's when you're on a noose, your head goes purple. And the reason the ancient Romans, who ruled over the Germanic tribes that are now become these royal families, like the British royal family, the reason the Romans would put the Germans, these German tribes, their king, in a purple crown, was to say, if you fuck with us, we'll fucking well kill you. And then we'll wear purple at your funeral. You've got the purple crown on. It's a warning. It's a fucking warning from the Romans, who are the scariest motherfuckers that have ever walked this earth. The ancient Romans, anyway. It's a warning, right, that we'll fucking well kill you. We'll nail you to a fucking cross if you don't do what we say. And that's why they put them in the purple crown. And these stupid British royals, these Germanic fairy boys, haven't realised this until now, until I've explained it to them, that they were putting a purple crown by the Romans to take the piss out of them. They've actually removed it. They've actually removed, I was looking for how long have the British royals worn purple crowns, Imperial Rome. It used to have information on Google. It used to have information on Google that they've worn purple crowns all the way going back to the times of Imperial Rome. They've deleted it now. Because they watch me on this phone, you see. They've got a surveillance state. And I explained it to them. So they've took it down now. They tried to take it down. They tried to hide the fact they've been wearing these purple crowns that represent death, represent the colour of funerals to the Romans. To the Romans, it represents funerals. They've tried to take it down. Now, if you go on, like Catholicism now, will say it's about penance. You know, purple's about, you know, funerals. It is about funerals, but it's also about penance and about Easter. Yeah, the reason they have purple now in Catholicism is because they feel like penance, you know, repentance for killing Jesus. The Romans were the ones who killed Jesus. So it's like, oh, we have purple for repentance of killing Jesus. So obviously, it's a bit different under the popes. But purple to an ancient Roman represents death. Whereas the British royals think it represents royalty. To them it represents royalty. But that's why the Romans put them in them purple crowns. The Romans were the ones who give them their power. That's how it worked. The Romans, installed them in these, lands, these Germanic tribes. They gave them their power, the Romans. But obviously, eventually, under Henry VIII, it transitioned. Sailing become a big thing. The Romans were never going to do that. Sail out into the oceans and stuff. They were never going to do it. So that's why you had to have these Germanic royals in power. But now, you see, they don't want to relinquish their power back to Rome. They don't want to relinquish their power to Satan and back to Rome. As soon as I marry Ariana Rockefeller, I offer out for a pawn shop any fucking royal of any fucking family, any royal family, because they've got these royal families all over the world. They're the ones that run the world. Any royal fucking dude that wants a punch up with me, with Satan, can fucking have one. And of course, because I'm Satan they're gonna get fucking battered. But you see, they don't want that. You know, someone like Harry is desperate. Harry and Charles and William are desperate to not allow me into the royal families because I'll soon be ruling them, just like how the Romans ruled them. They want to try and pretend the Romans never ruled them, but they did, because they're the hardest bastards that ever walked the earth. And of all the Roman emperors, I'm the scariest fucking one. You know what I mean? Because I'm Satan. I'm the devil himself. So, but I work for God. Always remember, I do work for God. God's the Almighty. So I have to be a good guy to good people. That's how it works. If you're a good person, if you're a good person, you've got nothing to worry from the devil. If you're a good person. And this is how it is. So, hopefully that's giving you a bit of background. It's unfortunate Harry's not going to work with us, but to be fair, I was being a bit overly optimistic that he would work with us. I think that was a bit of a pipe dream, really, that he'd work with me. And so he's going to have to be fucking killed off. And so is his fucking wife. He's going to have to watch his wife get broken by God's mind powers, and then he's going to have to watch him, himself get fucking broken. He can go down to hell. Alright guys, what I'm doing now is a bong smoking tutorial. I've seen a few tutorials on the internet that I don't think are actually that good, because they teach you, this is CBD cannabis by the way, so there's no THC in this. It's actually legal to purchase in the UK. I use it to treat my asthma. It doesn't get you stoned. CBD cannabis. I've talked about it before. I've purchased it legally. You don't get any high effect, but if you've got asthma, this is what you want. You want a water bong and you want CBD cannabis, and it will really help your asthma. Much better than those little inhalers, which I think are crap. I've seen a few tutorials on how to smoke a bong, but I don't think they're very good, because they teach people to use their lighter. The lighter's not working. Hang on. That was working. They teach people to burn the cannabis for fucking ages. To burn, and then to build up loads and loads of smoke in here. So you get like a massive hit. A really massive hit. But I think that's stupid. This is just a pipe. Think of it, it's a water pipe. So think of it as like an old man, say an old man who likes to smoke a pipe. He only takes small drags on it. He drags on it like that. Small little drags. You don't need to take massive hits. I don't really get why these tutorials on the internet, people are taking massive hits. You don't need to. You can do if you want to. I mean, if you want to take a massive hit to get stoned, get high really quickly, then fair enough. But I don't do that to treat my asthma. I'll show you. So I've put a bit of bud in there, some chunks of bud, just broke it up into small chunks, and then I'll just hit it nice and gently. I'm just hitting little gentle hits, and then I'll just hit it again. Now what I also use, I've got a little, this is just a little screwdriver. It's a really small, let me see that small screwdriver. And what I'll do is, in the bowl where the bud is, I'll just kind of mix it around and try to flip it upside down so I can burn the other side of the bud. So I'll burn it again. Just taking little hits. Like I say, CBD cannabis is not going to get you high, but it does help that asthma. This is a really good treatment for asthma that I'd be lost without it, because my asthma, I've used the inhalers, And my asthma, it really makes your life quality less good because you don't get as good a night's sleep. There's a lot of parents out there who might have children who suffer with asthma, and it's not surprising considering how much pollution there is in the air from cars. All these cars and trucks pumping pollution into the air. I think that's causing a lot of breathing problems with people. That's why I want to transition everyone over to free energy, where there's no carbon emissions then out the exhaust of your car. But these children who've got asthma, they're going to bed, they're lying on their back, then that's when your asthma will often be its worst, when you're lying on your back. They'll be coughing through the night, they don't get a good night's sleep, and then they go to school the next day really tired. They'll be going on them inhalers all the time, but they don't really work that good. This is a much better solution. So I took a couple of hits on this now. I'll probably mix it again a third time. But as you can see, I'm only taking little hits, and I'll just hit it multiple times rather than taking one massive hit where I'm burning it for ages and creating really dense smoke in here. I'm not doing that because what's the point? I can just take multiple small hits. It's just more chilled then. I think a lot of these tutorials on bong smoking are getting it wrong in the sense of they're like, imagine if you've got a pint of beer and you just want to drink the beer really fast, you want to chug it down really quick because you're in a drinking game, you're getting drunk with your mates, it's like who can chug down the beer as quickly as possible. I think that's what's happening. Whereas smoking on a bong can be a lot more chill than that. So I'll probably have it one more little mix of this bud, and then that'll probably be it then. I'll have one more little burn again. That is it now. That's done now. Empty that ashtray. We're done. That's how to smoke a bong properly, I think. Taking these hard, big hits. Maybe that's clever when you're 18 with your mates, hang with your mates and you're listening to some fucking jungle music or something. But when you're trying to treat asthma, that's the way to do it. Just small hits. The other thing you need to get, this bong clearly needs cleaning. It's really dirty at the minute, as you can see. I haven't got round to it. But you need these rubber bongs. You put a load of salt, table salt in there, hot water. You need some of this isopropyl alcohol. You need to get some of that rubbing alcohol, also known as. You put the salt in hot water, you put some of that in. Then you put the bungs in. You get these like laboratory bungs. I got them off eBay. You put them in, push them in, and you shake the whole thing up. You shake it up to get it clean. And then it'll go really dirty, the water, and you just pour it all out, rinse it all out with cold water. To clean these, to clean the actual bowl, you need pipe cleaners. See them, pipe cleaners. So that you get a little tub you get a plastic tub, you put a load of salt in it, table salt, you put the hot water in, you put the rubbing alcohol in again, you can shake it about a bit, like put this in the plastic tub, shake it around, that'll loosen a lot of it. And then to sort of do the end clean, pipe cleaners. So they're in a cheap, you can get them off eBay. And that's it really. This, like I say, it doesn't need a clean, but it's when I get round to it. But yeah, just take little hits. I really want to help people who suffer with asthma to give them a better treatment for it. And I'm pretty sure this is the treatment you want to use. It works for me. CBD cannabis and a water bong. Ideally, you want to get a glass bong. They're not that expensive. You can pick them up fairly cheap. A glass bong's what you need. Nice, decent sized one, glass. And like I say, yeah, you can buy the CBD cannabis legally, so there's no issue there. Okay. Alright, so that's my tutorial on how to smoke a bong with Satan. Oh, and with smoking the bong, make sure you change the water after every session as well. That's really important. Just change the water, just empty out, and the next session put some fresh water in, because that's what filters the smoke and makes it a lot cleaner and healthier for your lungs. Okay, inventions with Satan, what we're talking about. First thing we're talking about is an idea I had just recently where we can make brakes on racing cars and racing motorbikes potentially more powerful, which would allow the driver to brake later into the corners. Whether it would work, I'm not sure, but on a disc brake, you usually have one caliper on that disc brake. And what I'm saying is, would it not be possible on that disc, you got that whole disc, would it be possible not to have multiple calipers? So say you could have 3 calipers. So just having one brake caliper on the disc brake, having a caliper, 3, or maybe 4, I don't know. Having multiple calipers, brake calipers on a disc brake to give that brake more stopping power. It's an idea I thought of. Whether it's a good one, who knows. It wouldn't be for regular vehicles, a regular car or a regular motorbike. It'd be for high performance vehicles like Formula 1 cars and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. It's an idea. Another idea I had, idea of an invention I had, was to try and help deep sea fishermen who, if you ever watch that show, Deadliest Catch, they go out searching for, trying to catch crabs, Alaskan crabs, I think it is, these big, massive crabs. And often what happens, the boat goes out, this big boat goes out, throws out the lobster pots in an area where they're hoping there'll be a lot of crab on the seabed. And often they'll pull the pots up, a few days later, and there's no crab in the lobster pots. One of the problems is, you've had overfishing, but a lot of that stems from the fact you've been desalting the oceans, which is slowly killing the oceans. Talked about that in a previous episode. You need to start putting salt back in the oceans using dry salt lakes. Right, you've got a few of those dotted around the world. Resalt the oceans. That will help the ocean, more ocean life. It'll help ocean life prosper. You'll have more fish, more Alaskan crabs, more wildlife in the ocean. But another idea I thought to help these fishermen on shows like the Deadliest Catch is, why not have, so what they could have is a small boat that has a underwater drone. So this here is a fishing drone that can go down to 100 meters in depth. Now, maybe they could get one that goes a lot, quite a lot deeper than that. And they send out, so they park their big boat that's got all the lobster pots on, the big lobster pots. They park that in the middle of the ocean, and they have a small boat that goes out with the drone. It'd be on an electrical wire. You can't send radio signals easily through water. It'd be on a wire, and they just reel out the wire, and it just goes down really deep and looks to see if there's any crab in that area. So it's exploring from this small boat to see if there's any crab in the area. And if there is crabs, these Alaskan crabs, then they radio across from that little boat, they radio across to the big boat to say, yeah, put your lobster pots here. But if obviously the drone goes down and there aren't any Alaskan crabs in that area, then obviously they reel in the drone back in and go to a different area to explore first. Because the way they're doing it at the minute, I just don't think it's the right way. Because oftentimes they send these lobster pots down, these crab pots down, and it comes back with nothing. If they use modern technology, fishing drone first, it might help them. It's an idea. Is it a good idea? I don't know. This is my job. My job, basically, once I'm the Roman Emperor of the world, and King David, King of the world, is to come up with solutions to problems to help the people. My job is to sort of use logic, because I'm the man of logic. Remember, Jesus was your love man. I'm the man of logic. To come up with solutions to problems. And that might help deep sea fishermen make fishing a bit more easier and more profitable. Because moving that big boat around with all the guys on it, throwing these pots out, uses a lot of fuel. You've got to pay the guys to throw these pots out. Then they pull them back. There's nothing on the pots because there was no crab in that area. It's very hit and miss at the minute. I think there's quite a bit of luck involved in Alaskan crab fishing at the moment. Maybe underwater drones would help. We've got to improve the health of the oceans by resalting them as well. I mean, that's very important too. So, yeah. But anyway, there's a couple of inventions from Satan, or at least ideas of inventions that might be good ideas. They might be bad ones. I don't know, but there you are. Last thing we're going to talk about, medical science. Now, I've talked about how if you work with the Greys, they're really, really intelligent and they'll help your medical science come along a lot. Currently, I think there's a shortage of doctors because you're not very intelligent species. Reptilians and monkeys, neither of them are that clever. So to be intelligent enough to qualify as a doctor is not easy for a lot of you. And even once a lot of these doctors have qualified, some of them aren't very good. You get some really good doctors, but you get some shit ones as well, because your intelligence levels aren't that high. You're not that smart. You're designed to be like athletic. That's your attribute. Humans' attribute is your athleticism. And your young men make good soldiers, carrying guns and weapons and stuff. But your brain power ain't that great. Whereas the Greys are kind of the opposite of you. They're really, really smart, like a brain on legs. But they're really weak. They're not good at fighting. And it may be the case in the future that a lot of your doctors are going to have to be Greys. Because they're just smarter. They'll give you better treatment. They'll give you better diagnosis of illnesses and things. They're just smarter. And it may well be in the future that when you go to the doctors, you actually teleport to where the Greys are, their home planet. You get seen by them, and then you teleport back. That may be something that's going to happen in the future. To try and deal with this shortage of doctors that you have. It's just a lot of you just aren't that smart. A lot of you, say an average dude, an average guy, probably is not smart enough to qualify as a doctor. You know what I mean? And like I say, I've seen doctors that aren't that smart myself. I've seen some really good doctors too,
But I've seen ones that I look at them and I think, you ain't that fucking clever, mate. You know what I mean? It's because you're not a smart species, whereas the greys are. So that might be something that needs to happen in the future. And they'll have better medical science. Their scientists, full stop, are a lot better than your science. Your scientists are fairly crap compared to them. And obviously they'll be better at medical science as well. So, but that will be good. That'll be a good thing for humanity. So that's a positive. Anyway, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.